When I went in the NFL, I was the only African-American quarterback, and I was the highest paid player in the league at that time. Everybody's eyes are watching me to see how I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna react and handle all this success and money. So yeah, I knew that I had to be on top of my job every time I went out, and it's hard.
Yeah, sure.
Because you want to go out and have fun. You want to go out with your family and be able to let your hair down, but you couldn't. Yeah, it was a very difficult time for a young guy like myself. There was some really tough days in those first few years when we weren't winning.
And your first year, your record was 3-13, but
Right.
you set personal records.
Yeah.
And you set records.
I set a rookie passing record and all that, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not winning.
Right.
And especially when you're making all this money and all these people are saying, well, you know, what's this? You know, they called you some certain names. We're making all this money down here. You know,
Right.
Why aren't we winning more football games? Well, I understand the responsibility that comes along with playing this position, but I also know that I can't do everything. But it was going to take time. Nobody has had this perfect ride to the top that I can think of, unless they're like a silver spoon and they just come from it.
Right.
Well, we didn't come from it.
Right. Absolutely.
And you're going to have that adversity along the way. So how do you handle that? And that's what I've been able to do. I've been able to handle it. Now, during that time, I also internalized a lot of things that I shouldn't have internalized, that I eventually got help for later on in my career. You know, I went to therapy because I knew I had all this stuff inside of me that I would put to the side every time I had to deal with a certain situation. I remember my 35th birthday. We're playing in Cleveland, Ohio against the Browns. I throw 5 touchdown passes that day. I come out of the game early with about 2 minutes left. They put the backup in. I'm on the sideline thinking about what I'm gonna do when I get back home for my birthday. And then all of a sudden I'm surrounded by our security team. And our head of security whispers in my ear, Warren, you stay close to us after this game, or we're gonna walk you off the field, as all these policemen are coming around me, because we've had death threats on your life. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is a football game.
Right.
You know? I kind of chuckled. It's like, you gotta be kidding me that somebody really wants to kill me over a football game? So as I found out after that game, he told me that they've had several, and did I want to know about them beforehand or did I not want to know about them? I said, I don't want to know about them.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about them, because that's just not good. That's going to affect the way I play the game. But just to know that that's out there is just something that you have to deal with, you know, as a player. And this is 1990. There was some tough days for my family, especially sitting in the stands listening to some of the things that people had to say about me. It was easier for me because I had dealt with that in college. So I kind of understood what it was all about, but now I've got young kids who have to deal with this.
So how did you explain that to, I met your son Josh.
Yes.
How did you explain that to him when he was growing up and being in that environment and hearing those things about you or about your family? And
it's tough, because I remember one day after a loss, I came to my locker and he's sitting there in tears, and I'm already dejected because we lost the football game, but now I have to put on my dad hat and deal with my son and his feelings and his emotions on why people are calling their dad these types of names. And I had to let him know that, you know, everybody out there is not going to like me, or is not going to like you, or is not going to like everybody. There are a lot of people out there that have a lot of hatred, that have a lot of bigotry, that have a lot of jealousy about our family. For me, I knew my opportunity wasn't all about racism, because 70% of football is African Americans.
Right.
But it was about the stereotype of that one position.
That's right.
Of football that I had to deal with.
Right.
At
Intelligence,
the end.
Leadership, and all
Face of
those
the
excuses.
franchise and all those things that come along with it. Those are the barriers that I had to try and break down. It wasn't the fact that there's racism in football, because there was a lot of African Americans who were stars, who were making money, but that was the final frontier of positions in the National Football League that we had to break down, and we were finally able to do that.
Well, you not only went through that door, you kicked the hinges off that door.